from the comic book store in Manhattan Beach. He's Joe. I'm Ro. You can find us all over social media on
Did you
those.
Notice that we're not Joe and Ro. I'm Ro and you're Joe.
Holy shit! I feel a little more empowered now. We're both men of color, so whatever. You know what? Hey,
He owes us a beer.
He owes us a beer.
Junior, take your pills.
Hit the mute button. How's everybody doing out there? How you doing today, Joe?
I'm doing great, man. Ready to talk about some Star Wars. We had some problems last week. We apologize.
Yeah.
But thank you guys so much for joining us and tuning in right here live to Star Wars Fanatics, where we talk about the latest and greatest. Star Wars.
There's been a lot of news. You can find all the latest breaking news at thathashtagshow.com. You can find him or I at our handles. I copied him. I don't know if you noticed this, but he's that hashtag Joe. I am now that hashtag Ro. It was either that or Battlestar Brownica or something like that, but I couldn't really make that work. Anyways, how's everything going for you?
Me?
Yeah.
Pretty good, man. We had a lot of big Star Wars news. I'm really excited about this production stuff that's going on with Episode 9.
Yeah.
I know that we're not, I mean,
we're going to get
like we're not going to cross-correct anything, but maybe add on to it.
That's a good. Now, as usual, we want everybody to log on and looks like there's a ton of people already online. Get online, give us your comments, give us your feedback, because what we do here at the Star Wars Fanatics, presented to you by that hashtag show, what we try to do is really involve the community at large. If there's a Star Wars show out there that gets more, I don't think there is. Most of these shows, and there's some good shows like Collider does some stuff. They have the Jedi Council. Just bear with me. And there's a couple of other shows, but none of these guys really involve their audience. And we plan on taking this to another level very soon. Just FYI. So tell your friends about the Star Wars Fanatics.
Well, another reason about that too is that I feel that the community of Star Wars is just as important as the movies. Mainly because we, as a community, make or break what is acceptable in Star Wars and what isn't. And sometimes we might not always agree, but the one thing we can agree on is our love of the community. For example, when Ro was growing up, a lot of folks weren't too happy about Ewoks. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, well, you know what? I was at the time, because Star Wars was made for guys like me. I was in my early teens when that came out. Everybody forgets, and I'll remind you, I'm 12 years older than Joe here, so I remember seeing this shit in the fucking movie theater. And some people were not happy but they got to remember, and I always bring this up about Episode 1, it wasn't made for a 40-year-old man.
Well, I mean, in my
Star
generation,
Wars was made for kids.
In my generation, the big topic of debate has been Jar Jar Binks.
Right.
And I know now, it's crazy because now I feel like people are more accepting of Jar Jar.
Right.
People aren't as hateful on Jar Jar, but it definitely is Jar Jar. And I feel like, and it sucks, but in this current generation, that new character is Rose.
Right.
So it really depends on which.
But that is a far cry from Jar Jar.
I agree. Listen. I'm a Rose supporter.
Yeah, me too.
But I don't understand the hate. Sometimes, man. Sometimes.
Yeah. No. The hate is ridiculous. And
Bro, you really have a hate on something though, and that's the 501st. Why is that?
Okay, let's talk about the 501st, and let's get some things straight, because I have some good friends and some good drinking buddies who are a part of the 501st. I have done podcasts with guys like with Scott, who used to run the SoCal. What was it called? What are their little groupies called?
Garrison. He was a
Garrison.
Daniel called him like Eric yesterday or something.
So we've done it, and here's my issue that I have run into, and we've brought this up before, and it's an ongoing theme, and we like ongoing themes because we kind of feel like we're letting you guys in on our inside discussions. Some people in the 501st think of themselves as very important players in Star Wars, and you kind of have to remind them that they're just cosplayers.
I know. I mean, you could. That's so offensive to the 501st.
It really is.
You're literally, there's a Garrison somewhere around the world where his ears are fucking burning right now. You can hear choo-choo train horns.
I know Tattoo Trooper's gonna choke me out the next time I see him, but
I agree.
There was a weird look on your face just now.
I don't disagree.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I'm kind of with you on this. I feel like I like the people that I know from the 501st, but it definitely is a bit of an elitist group.
It's there. It is. There's that word. And you know what? Not all of them are like that. There's a group up in NorCal. They're working on building a Tatooine set in their.
Why would they not be building a Tatooine set?
But I will say this, those guys are homies, and those guys can throw down drinks, and I sat and drank vodka with those guys till the wee hours of the morning. Those are down homies. They're just fucking crazy Star Wars
building
fans.
A Tatooine set? Would you build a Tatooine set? All right, let's
maybe not
play a little game. Indulge me, if you will. If you were to build any set from Star Wars, what would it be? I think I know what your answer is going to be.
I think it's easy.
1, 2, 3.
Cantina. Right. Yeah. Okay. So, if you're going to have a house, and let's say best case scenario, you're rocking it. You've got a lot of extra space, and you have an entertainment room that's quite sizable. You've got the money for it. You can afford the money. What would your entertainment room is going to be the drinking room, the place where people have parties. Why wouldn't it be the Mos Eisley Cantina? Speaking of alcohol, speaking of drinking, I'd like to bring this to everyone's attention real quick. We have a little bit of housekeeping to do before we move on, but this is just want to let everybody know that this is Neft, and the good people at Neft gave us a few barrels of their fucking fine vodka. Now, you guys know we like to drink on the Star Wars Fanatics. We do quite a bit of it. I have a full glass of straight Neft with a couple of limes. I've got to say, this barrel is probably the coolest alcohol container I've ever seen, and I think it works well on the back of a Stormtrooper cosplay.
It does. You know what else it kind of reminds me of? What were those things when people would light bottles and like a rag, and then like they'd set it on fire? What are those?
A Molotov cocktail?
Yeah. No ideas. No ideas.
That can make a vicious Molotov cocktail. I want to also throw a shout out to this fucking amazing shirt. This is an exclusive by Vicious Kills. It's a con exclusive, a hashtag show exclusive. ViciousKill.com. Thank you so much for these freaking awesome shirts. They've got a bunch of other stuff on their website. Go check them out. ViciousKill.com for all your fandom wear and cool shit. So getting back to the 501st cosplay and building sets, can we talk about Boba Fett real quick?
Yes, let's talk about Boba Fett.
Now, Boba Fett has been played originally by Jeremy. Well, he's not original. I'm gonna get to that. Jeremy Bullock has retired from the con scene. He is known for his appearances. There we go.
Do you think the 501st made his costume in that picture? I'm asking. It's a serious question.
Did they make his cosplay? Yeah. Are you allowed to call it costumes?
Not if it's the 501st.
Do they call it? What do they call it? Their uniforms?
I will say that's a pretty sick suit, though.
It is. It makes him look buff and strong. I'm gonna bet you money that I can knock that dude out in the picture.
You can't. He will destroy you. Are you kidding me? That's Boba Fett. Honestly, credit to this dude. So let me ask you. Let me chat me up about this. Is he just the voice of Boba Fett, or was he the actual physical actor? He was the actor, but he didn't voice Boba Fett.
So where did the original Boba Fett, according to the canon timeline, appeared in? Yes, I said canon timeline. The holiday special. That is where we first saw Boba Fett. And thanks to producer Junior here. What? Oh no. Who gave me this information? Jeremy
Bullock.
No. Don Franks was the holiday special voice of Boba Fett.
Yeah, remember you said he's no Don Franks.
He is no Don. Jeremy Bullock is no Don Franks. Hey, are you drinking?
Yeah, I have a beer.
All right, good stuff. Let's get to the comments, Joe.
Okay, let's get to the comments.
I want and by the way, Star Wars Fanatics and wherever Josh went, we're going to kick him in the nuts when we do see him. He's going to be responsible for making sure this show is also available in audio. We're announcing it today.
Oh, you know,
and somebody better make it fucking happen.
He blamed that on you, actually, why it's not live on iTunes. Did he tell you? Let me pull the curtain back a little.
Okay, let's go.
So here's the deal, and chat me up about this. Let's talk about some rumor and innuendo.
Yeah, while he's not here, so we can go
Josh,
hard in the paint.
And he said that I asked about that. Why is this show specifically? Because Star Wars fans, I think, are the best fans, the most passionate fans.
Extremely passionate.
And I feel like, how come this show's not on iTunes? You didn't tell me. He said, well, Ro's making an intro, so we're not putting it on iTunes. And I said, okay, why don't we just put it on there anyway and just put the intro on later on? He's like, well, we're going to wait for that. So he put the blame on you. I feel like there's a lot of that passing of the buck that goes around.
Okay, well, I did, to his defense, I did say I would make an intro, but I thought that we would just run that, when I got around to it, we would just run that live at the beginning of this.
Yeah, I mean,
we can do that, right? It turns out we're in the 19th century and we have that kind of technology.
19th century? I think we're in the 21st century.
I'm not sure about that.
With this technology, sometimes I feel like we're in the 19th century. But back to Star Wars, which we don't know which century it's in. Let's talk about some of the comments you guys have.
Yeah.
Now,
can I tell you why Star Wars fans are so fucking great, and why this fucking community and fandom is so passionate? Before you get to the comments, the reason they are is because it was gone. All we had was the fandom. There was a few comic books and some books and blah blah blah. Lucasfilm was doing a pretty good job with Clone Wars, but for the most part,
bro, have you ever read Splinter Into the Mind's Eye? Or are you talking about a few books? That's classic.
Okay,
classic.
All right,
book.
But I'm just saying.
Have you ever read the Dash Rendar Chronicles? You haven't? Well, guess what? I'm making it right now.
I'm gonna drink the fucking Dash right now. Hey, people, it's your turn. Comments and bring up our little feature, super comment feature for
super chat. All of you guys exclusively on YouTube, you have the feature called the super chat feature. What that does, it helps support the show. But not only that, it keeps your comment right there at the top. Now, that's the way that we get to read your comments live on YouTube. Obviously, we're going to engage with you guys on Facebook. Guys, I'm really curious to know, right here, right now, which is your favorite version of Boba Fett? Did you like Holiday Special Boba Fett? Or do you like comic Boba Fett? Or do you like movie Boba Fett? Which Boba Fett is your Boba Fett? Let us know right now in the chat. But let's talk about the chat real quick. I want to address some of these comments. We have Blackwing says...
welcome back, Blackwing.
Says he despises Collider, actually.
Good for you.
Louis, he says, we included them in Battlefront. That's the Ewoks in 2005 and made them canon. I'm sure the Ewoks are already canon. We're probably talking about something else there. Let's see what else we got. David says that if he was to make a set, it would also be the Cantina.
Of course. Good choice.
Now there's a Star Wars rumor. Take it with the
second choice, by the way, would be the Falcon cockpit.
I was sat in the real Falcon.
I know you did. I'm very jealous of that.
Darth Baca says there's a rumor that Rey will be pregnant in Episode 9.
I'd knock that bitch up!
No. Also, he says take that rumor with a grain of salt. I don't think that's going to be a case. But who knows? Jalen Glover also says, I have a ton of Star Wars ideas, including some ideas about Episode 9 and 10. There's not going to be an Episode 10.
There's a place for you to put those ideas. Put them in that. It's called the comment section. Put them in there. Let me see what you got to say. I bet you they're fucking crazy, but I want to see them anyways.
The crazier, the better, though.
I love crazy fan theory. So put it in there. We'll make it real.
Now, we got some Facebook comments as well. Greg Evans says, what's up, everyone?
Greg, our number one commenter.
He's speechless.
I am.
Let's see.
I'm drinking Neft, and I promised Greg to bring some Neft.
Rob White says, Jeremy Bullock forever.
Hey, Rob, he didn't know anything. Jeremy Bullock is no Don Franks, is all I'm saying.
Justin Lee also agrees. Hashtag Dash Chronicles.
Okay, Soto.
Hashtag Dash Chronicles. We also have Rob White says the prequels are the best. Okay. Justin also comments about which Boba Fett was his. He says comic Boba Fett. Fett is easily his best. The character finishes out a whole ton of whereas the movies didn't really give him much of anything to do, which is true.
God damn it. Boba Fett was a little bitch in Jedi, though.
Theory, says Luis.
What was that question?
What does Ro think about the Star Wars Jar Jar Binks theory?
That Jar Jar was a Sith?
Sure.
Yeah.
We'll go with that.
I love that theory. Okay, now for anybody who doesn't know, Jar Jar Binks as a Sith Lord theory was undermining the efforts of the Jedi. It was I think it's the most commented Reddit post of all time.
Yeah, and also for those of you that don't know, Hashtag Show has their own version of Jar Jar Binks. It's called Daniel Jerome. So it all flows together quite perfectly.
God damn it. He's got some weapons of his own, I'll tell you that.
He does.
Yeah.
He does. All right, so let's get into our next bit of news. Now, anybody that's a fan of the extended universe must have been happy when they saw this character appear in Star Wars Rebels. That happens to be, you know what I'm going to say it.
Dash Rendar.
No, Thrawn.
Oh, okay.
Dash Rendar would be, I literally would have been, that would have been it for me. I would have just died.
Okay, so this is very interesting, though, in all seriousness. This guy right here, James Woods.
That's not James Woods.
Oh, God damn it. So that's not the dude from Casino?
That's Richard E. Grant. You don't know who Richard E. Grant is?
It's Richard E. Grant.
A rumor a long time ago said he was going to play Mr. Sinister. He actually ended up playing the Doctor in Logan, that classic film about a Western. Logan. He was in Logan, and he this is a bit of a huge leap in speculation.
Okay.
Now, I guess there was a tweet.
It is speculation, but there is a few things to back it up.
There's a couple things to back it up.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, so there was a tweet that came. I don't actually know. Why don't you explain the story?
Well, I don't know anything about this story except that I like the idea of spreading bad rumors. JJ Abrams is really known for fan service when it comes to Star Wars. He put in a lot of Easter eggs in The Force Awakens. He's been really good. The rumor is that he's coming in after Rian Johnson because of all the drama that he created. Again, I don't disagree with all of Ryan's choices, but he's supposed to come in, and the rumor is that he's going to bring this character back because JJ Abrams is known for dipping into the EU a little bit, right? Or Star Wars has been dipping into the EU a little bit. Thrawn is a very popular character right now, extremely popular, and they're making a push for Thrawn in the canon timeline with a really big push with the latest book. I think it's called Thrawn Alliances or something. I haven't read it yet. Everyone's saying it's not as good as the first Thrawn book, which I just got, haven't started reading it. My point being is,
are you pretty much just saying you bought a bunch of books that you don't read?
I do that a lot.
Gotcha.
I do that a lot. I think their audiobook is now available, so I'll probably switch to that.
Great. I'm glad you bought the physical copy just to listen to the audiobook. Now,
supporting my fandom. Okay, so I missed all the points you wanted me to bring up, so you can bring them up.
I think this is interesting. Now, let me ask you a question before we even get into these points. Now, there was a tweet that came out that referenced Thrawn possibly being in these movies, and he liked the tweet. Okay. Does that necessarily make him Thrawn? No.
No.
Does that means that he might be campaigning for a job? Sure.
Maybe. No, well, wasn't he brought onto the cast of Episode 9?
Was he brought onto the
producer
cast?
Yes, so he's officially signed on. We don't know the role that he's playing because he went online and liked some Thrawn stuff. That's where the speculation came from.
It's a possibility, but here's the thing. Do you think Thrawn fits into this Star Wars trilogy? Last time we saw Thrawn was in Rebels. Does he belong in this Star Wars trilogy? Because, look, there was a lot of rumors that Benicio del Toro was Ezra, and I feel like we kind of got duped with that.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think that Kylo Ren is a good bad guy, but he is a conflicted bad guy. He's a really great character, conflicted character who throws these tantrums, but he's not mature, and he's now in charge of this whole army. I feel like someone like Thrawn is what he needs because he killed Snoke, right? So Snoke is gone. Oh, fucking spoiler alert, by the way. That shit's on fucking Netflix. If you haven't seen it by now, fuck you.
It's just a hidden gem on Netflix. Yeah. A movie called The Last Jedi.
$1 billion. Oh yeah, fuck that movie. That movie sucks. Let's not support that movie. $1 billion, people made like $1 billion.
Like $1 billion? No, it made $1 billion.
It made $1 billion. Anyways,
you're on YouTube. No, we're not. I don't believe it. Yeah, you are. Let me see.
All right.
Hey, what's up? So right now we're live on YouTube. You know why? Because fuck those Facebook fans.
Fucking that Mark Zuckerberg, he needs a Zucker punch.
We are
Zucker punch that motherfucker.
We are back. There's so much going on today, man.
There is a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Hey guys, we are gonna upgrade a lot of stuff here, and in the days to come, and bring you way higher quality casts. That's where we need your help. The super chat function is there. We do this shit for free all day long. We've been doing this for what? Fucking 5 years now.
Yeah, people don't even know that.
Get real.
Overnight success.
The struggle is real, people.
Yeah, it took us 5 years to become an overnight success.
Oh shit, it's on the Bigfoot Report channel.
It's okay.
All right. Yeah, I guess it's fine.
So we're back.
We're back, people.
Thrawn. Right. Does Thrawn fit into this universe?
I don't know. I'd like to hear what... I know that the hardcore fans love Thrawn. I think it's too late in the timeline for Thrawn. I don't know. I don't think it works. But I don't see Kylo keeping it together on his... I don't think he's got the leader... It's not in his character to be that high level of a leader. He has the entire empire.
He has every boy's dream.
He does.
Every boy's dream. Now, here's the thing. I'm really curious to see where this goes. I feel if they do bring in Thrawn, that's going to be a lot of fan service.
It's mega fan. I guarantee you there's going to be some decent amount of fan service. Now, speaking of...
I was just going to say speaking of fan service, actually. I legit was going to say this. Go ahead.
Okay. Speaking of fan service, Carrie Fisher.
I was going to say that, too. You transitioned exactly how I was going to do that.
So... Give me your thoughts.
He's been reading the script, guys. Now,
we rehearse.
What are my thoughts about Carrie Fisher returning? Well, originally I had thought she was going to die in the crawl.
Opening crawl.
Obviously now it looks like she's going to be a character in the film. Now, I think that salvages the plans that they had, possibly. But it's going to be very hard, because I feel like the story now with her is going to revolve around footage that she had shot previously that was supposed to be in The Force Awakens, and I'm hearing now some of The Last Jedi. I think JJ might be crafting the story. I don't want to say around it.
Do you see her past the first act, though? I think she has.
Oh, I kind of think so. I mean, look, the smart money move to use her is not in the first act, but the third act. Right?
That's true. That's true.
Save her for the end.
But I kind of feel like coming out of the last movie, it ended with her call, more or less.
Well, that's where Lando fits in.
So we got Lando coming back.
Yeah.
Okay? So we've already lost, and I don't know who the fuck this matters to, but spoiler alert, we've already lost Han. We lost.
But Luke is back. Luke is back in the movie.
He is. Mark Hamill is officially on the cast. What does that mean to you? And now, I mean,
what it means is they're not hiding it.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, I felt like with Yoda, Frank Oz, they hid it.
They did.
Right?
They did.
It was hidden.
That was fucking
they're
awesome.
not hiding.
Right.
It's like, hey, he's gonna be in this movie. Question is how.
Right.
Now, are you getting this story told through flashbacks? Because we did get our first taste of Star Wars flashbacks in The Last Jedi. Are we going to get some flashbacks in this movie?
Well, look, Luke is the most powerful Jedi who's ever lived, I believe, at this point in time.
Hey, man.
Right?
No. Qui-Gon Jinn is the most powerful.
Well, Qui-Gon can't be a Force ghost, though, right?
He's so cool that he wasn't a Force ghost?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He was like, fuck this shit.
Who is
Audi 5000.
The best Jedi ever? Yeah.
When was the last time someone said Audi 5000? I know. I just watched an old Ice Cube video. So
circa 1999.
Yeah, it was totally that.
A lot of people are saying Luke is going to come back as a Force ghost, and I don't disagree with that.
Well, they took the Force to a whole nother level in these movies, right? So,
do you think he will Force resurrect himself?
No, I don't think JJ would do like a resurrection thing, but I think
you had Princess Leia floating in space. What makes you think that they wouldn't?
Everything floats in space.
But she floated and flew like she was fucking.
Everything flies in space.
Does not fly like the way she did,
dude.
She was guided. She was guided.
You ever see that fucking moon landing shit?
You know what else doesn't happen in
space?
Those
guys are like,
you know what else doesn't
all
happen
day long.
Fucking explosions.
I know, right?
The sounds of explosions. I don't understand.
I love sci-fi. Hey, speaking of, I'm really curious. Like, what other sci-fi are you guys watching out there? People don't support sci-fi for the most part.
Well, sci-fi is going the way of the Western, I feel like.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is, if you look at the last, and this is going to turn into a little bit of a tangent here.
It's fine. Go ahead.
If you look into some of the movies that have been successful.
Yeah.
None have been sci-fi movies.
Superhero doesn't count as sci-fi?
No, I wouldn't count Guardians of the Galaxy as a sci-fi movie.
Interesting. I always felt
a superhero movie.
I always felt that
book movie.
Sci-fi fantasy was its own genre.
I feel that, like, look, think about it. Valerian did not do well at the box office.
Yeah.
Blade Runner did not do well at the box office. Which Blade Runner was a great movie.
Yeah.
What were some other ones that just recently came out? Star Wars did not do well at the box office.
Solo did not do well.
Solo did not do well at the box office, and critically, or no, sorry, commercially, Last Jedi did not do well at the box office. Commercially.
Okay.
Commercially in terms of fan reaction, not necessarily money-wise.
$1 billion.
But also, I mean, if you take a look at that, some of these other movies, like Hereditary, did not do well at the box office.
I never even heard of that movie. Who the fuck was in that?
That's my point exactly. That is my point.
Yeah,
exactly.
damn it. I feel like I let my genre down.
That one movie with what's her face? Chris Pratt and what's her face? Mystique. Passengers did not do well at the box office.
That's right.
So,
but what
sci-fi is going.
Martians did really well.
Martian did okay, but it didn't do
Didn't
great.
Sandra Bullock win an Oscar
And
for a
that is
sci-fi
called
movie?
Gravity.
Okay.
That's not the same movie.
Okay.
Those are different movies.
No, but I'm just saying that was a sci-fi movie.
That was a sci-fi movie, but how many years ago was that?
Oh, was that a long time ago?
It was like a decent.
I thought it was like 2 years ago.
4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, so we don't have big sci-fi movies in it. 5 years ago? God damn it!
5 years ago. Look, here's the thing. I feel that the sci-fi genre is better served on things like Netflix. A lot of people really thought Lost in Space was great. A lot of people liked Altered Carbon. It's
right.
Season 2. So I think that the storytelling is probably more prominent on a streaming service than it is on an actual in theaters. I don't think people. Another one that didn't do well, Annihilation with Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these sci-fi films just aren't really up people's corners anymore.
Interesting.
That's my hot take, guys.
There's Joe's rant on the current state of sci-fi. Now, what about television? You said television. We're going to get a lot of Star Wars television. Do you think this is Star Wars Overlord? Overlord?
Well, the Star Wars Overlord is called this guy, the mouse at Disney.
Overload. Are we going to get Star Wars Overload? We got a lot of fucking upcoming. I'm dropping a lot of F-bombs tonight. It's the Neft. It's really good shit, man.
You are dropping F-bombs. Right?
Yeah, you know what? I'll say so. I am your liability waiting to happen.
No, you're not the least of the worst.
Hey, people, we want to get as many people involved in these conversations as possible. We have a couple people in our live audience today, actually. But what we want to do, I'm just going to go on a little side tangent real quick. What we would like to do, we would like to see this thing grow into a voice for the community, because the Star Wars community online, I see it every fucking day. You guys got a lot of opinions and there's a lot of conflict.
How many times do you think we'll hear that noise by the end of the night?
Your machine is done. We're gonna, are we going to troubleshoot your machine on air?
I was just trying to start it up.
Oh, okay. What the fuck was I even talking about?
Talking about the Star Wars fan community.
Yeah, look, you guys have a lot to say, and we want to get everybody's voice on the show. There is debate after debate, theory after theory, and you know what? In between these movies, in between these projects, all we have is our community, our fandom. And I want to hear from you, because I'm obsessed with this shit, and I think these guys are too. Convince people to get into the conversation. We're at the Manhattan Beach Comic Bug every week, almost every week. Ask for an invitation. You can come down, sit in the live audience, participate in the conversation. I want this to be the voice for that hashtag shows Star Wars fandom.
So not just hashtag shows, but here's my 2 cents on this. There are a lot of Star Wars shows out there, so I appreciate you guys watching us right now.
Yeah.
One thing I would like to say, though, is that we want to be an interactive community. We want to give you a voice, not just be the voices for you. We want you guys to join us here live and express your opinion on Star Wars, because I feel as fans, we deserve certain. Now, this is going to sound super like on my fucking.
Okay.
I feel like there's certain things that the Star Wars community should be brought together on, and I think a sense of community is always a good thing, but constructive community, not trying to tear somebody down like Kelly Marie Tran, but definitely more constructive. And at the end of the day, if you really think about it, we're all just fans voicing our opinions, but we want to give you guys the chance to voice your opinions live with us at the Comic Bug in Manhattan Beach. Come and join us and just sit down, and we can all just talk. It's almost like think of it as a Star Wars town hall meeting every week.
Yeah, and we want to share our success with you. We're getting a lot of people submitting articles now, so just putting it out there. If you guys have really articulate ideas and know how to express them, We'll give you a platform to do it. There's a lot of people coming for information in geek in general to that #show.com. We've been very fortunate in the last 5 years to build this, 5-6 years, building this thing up, and it's become a real thing, and that's because of you guys. So we don't want to forget anybody. If you want to write for us, send us a fucking email. Send us a sample of your writing. We'll put it on the website. We'll promote it. We'll talk about it here. We'll invite you down. We want, like I said, this is a community. Everybody deserves to have a voice here, and we're going to give you that platform. Comments are lighting up right now. Let's see what's going on. So there you have it. I'm going to have a drink, and we're going to look at these comments.
Yeah, we're going to look at these comments.
There's an example from Michael Ritter.
Yeah, he says Inception did well at the box office and was critically acclaimed. How many years ago was that, though?
It was a while ago.
Yeah, I mean, if you could name me a sci-fi movie in the last 2 years...
Yeah.
That was 8 years ago, by the way. Inception was 8 years ago. If you can name me a sci-fi movie in the last 2 years that just destroyed at the box office...
Does internationally count? How about the Power Rangers movie?
That didn't do well.
It didn't. And damn it.
I mean, again...
What's up, Ranger fans?
That falls into another category all alone. But, like, besides the actual Star Wars movies...
Yeah.
Even, look, Star Trek didn't do great at the box office.
Right.
So we're getting the struggle. But guess what? Discovery's doing great on their streaming service. So I think it's the way that stories are told. If you really think about it, the key to this all, I think, is, to me, I think is, was it called? Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Black Mirror was the first successful kind of sci-fi anthology show that really started taking things into another notch.
It's this generation's Twilight Zone. It is fantastic. I recommend everybody check out the first episode. Now, to be real, the first episode, I was raving about this show, and then my dad watched the first episode of season 1 of Black Mirror, which was, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen it, I'm giving you an opportunity to tune out right now. The first episode was about a politician fucking a pig. So maybe
it happens.
Maybe skip the first episode and then work your way back into it if you're a little on the sensitive side. But it is fucking fantastic. And I think Sci-Fi Channel is killing it. I think Netflix is killing it.
Sci-Fi Channel killing with that Krypton show, huh?
No! The fucking Magicians and fucking Killjoys, dude. I love those two shows. We'll get into that on a different show at a different time.
Think about this, and this proves. This goes. I don't want to say proves, but this goes back to my point about sci-fi just doing better and performing better. Think about what people thought about, or even the numbers, what Solo was compared to Star Wars Rebels. People ultimately were fans of Star Wars Rebels. Left the show thinking, "Oh, that was great." That could be an execution with Dave Filoni, but if you look at the trend just in sci-fi in general, it performs better on either in a serialized storytelling, because I feel that it's a lot to take in. Even Star Wars at its core, you think about it, it's a serialized storytelling. It's in forms of episodes that are cinematic. It's not just one Star Wars movie.
No, it's not. It's a universe, and we're building on branches of the same.
That's where sci-fi kind of like has its roots, and I feel that's where you see the most successful sci-fi. Hey,
we're getting some love for sci-fi right now. DeMarcus says Krypton was great. Stefan says Dark Matter was awesome.
Dark Matter was awesome.
So there you go.
I don't disagree.
Am I the only one carrying the torch for Killjoys and the Magicians?
Killjoys. Magicians.
Okay, the audience has spoken.
Jeez.
I'm telling
one of
you.
my friends is on the Magicians.
You worked with Olivia, right?
Yeah. She was a PA back in the day for me.
She's hot.
We'll bring her on the show.
All right. I'll try not to be creepy.
Oh boy, that's gonna be a hard sell.
Amanda Lucas calling out at you.
That was bad. That's not good. I was gonna say though, let me just revert back to something I talk about quite often. I was having this conversation. If you can go to Lucasfilm, what's the one thing that you'd want to see?
In sync lightsaber battle.
I want to see it too.
All right.
I want to see it too. I want to see it mainly because I want to know if it really exists.
I think it does exist.
So what you're saying is, if
I did my best
at a convention. We have to ask about the NC.
100%. 100%. I did my best to try and get in some information. So Joe brought up this little piece of information, and I did a little shout out to Amanda Lucas. For those of you who don't know, we've talked about it once or twice before. We don't bring it up too often. She blocked me on Twitter.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Now, when Lucas was making the prequels, Amanda, his adopted daughter, was a huge NSYNC fan. George Lucas, being George Lucas, said, let's make them Jedis and put them in the big lightsaber battle, right? Fan outcry was through the roof.
Was it worse than things we're seeing now, though?
Well, considering that the internet wasn't at the level it was, that fan outcry was so bad, they retracted that statement that NSYNC was going to be in that lightsaber battle.
Looking back now, though, would it have been that big of a deal?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
No, but all of a sudden, people accept Justin Timberlake anyways.
Justin Timberlake's, he's almost transcended that.
He has transcended it. He has transcended it. And anyways, getting back to the story, so I needed to find out. So I did a little research on Amanda Lucas, and I found out, and I'm a huge...
Whoa. What do you mean you did a little research into Amanda?
Okay.
What does that mean exactly?
I found out that she became an amateur MMA fighter, and I'm a huge MMA fan. So I was thinking, well, bitches all day long are probably hitting her up about her dad, fucking George Lucas, right? I hit her up on Twitter and said, hey...
Wait. What was the statement you just said? Bitches all day long have been hitting her up about her dad, fucking George Lucas. What does that mean?
Okay, maybe it came out a little aggressive, but I'm just saying, how many people every day are saying, oh, Amanda Lucas, George Lucas is your dad, right?
I see.
I imagine that people want to talk to her about her dad. So I was going to be cool, and I started talking to her about...
So you tried to use her, is what you're saying.
I'm not saying... I was genuinely interested as an MMA fan.
You used MMA to try to get NSYNC information.
Guess what? She talked to me.
She did talk.
We started tweeting back a little bit, and I got a little aggressive.
What do you mean aggressive? First of all, you stalked her on the internet, and then what do you mean you got aggressive? I think
I might have had a drink or two, and I might have drunk texted her a couple of times, or drunk tweeted her a couple of times, because I was like, it's fucking Amanda. It's Amanda Lucas. We're tweeting. We're building rapport here.
Why is Jessica Alba in that picture as well? Just really curious about that. She's not a member of NSYNC. At least not to my knowledge. Why is Lance Bass bald?
What the fuck is Lance Bass doing?
I don't understand what is going on in this picture here.
This might be the greatest picture I've ever seen in my life.
Justin Timberlake, look at that baby face.
I will bet you money it's Dan Franks from the holiday special in that boba mask. Wait, that's a Django mask. Oh, fucking everybody's like, you're fucking sick, calling him fucking boba. Go fuck yourself. Dude, that is the greatest picture I've ever seen.
Well, this should be a Star Wars spinoff.
What
it should be? I really like the title.
Is that a lightsaber? I could see that is a toy lightsaber. You could see where it collapses right in the middle.
Yeah, I think this should be NSYNC, a Star Wars story.
I think he's holding a police baton.
Maybe that's a good documentary. NSYNC, a Star Wars story. We don't even talk about their music career. We're just going to interview them about the Star Wars process, costume fittings, production, post-production, and then the downfall of them figuring out that they're not in the movie. I think this is a documentary ready to be made. Netflix, the toys that made us, we're going to make it together.
Oh my God, I am going to frame this photo. I'm going to frame... Good find, Producer Junior, on this image right here.
Banned from Star Wars. Who else has ever been banned from Star Wars?
I was banned from
Amanda
Lucas's Twitter account.
So. Here's the question. Rumor has it, rumor and innuendo have it.
I never got to the fucking NSYNC question.
That should have been the lead. That's the lead.
No, I think I got in because I didn't bring up George Lucas at all.
Here's the question. Were they all supposed to play Jedis in that one scene where the Jedis fight in the pit?
Yes, it was supposed to be that pit scene in the...
Were they supposed to do a dance move choreographed with their lightsabers, do you think?
I think that would have been fucking awesome for the outtakes at least.
Can you imagine a bye-bye-bye dance sequence with their lightsabers? How cool that would be. By the way, this story just writes itself, I feel like.
I kind of feel like they were going to like throw that in. Like Justin was going to cut somebody down and go, bye-bye-bye.
Imagine that being the line, right?
Oh.
He chops off a Sith head and he says, bye-bye-bye. And he does a little dance move to get out of frame. I kind of... I think you got a new character here. I don't understand.
I am calling on the comment section to save us right now, but go ahead.
I don't understand why there's not a Walt Disney World performance. I wish there was a callback to this. Like, why is there not an MTV Movie Awards parody of this?
Why has nobody done a music video routine to Bye Bye Bye
As
with,
Jedis?
as Jedis with lightsabers?
Your guess is as good as
Fandom, mission, get out there and do it.
the meme writes itself.
It really does. So, at some point we were discussing the return of Carrie Fisher. Did we ever actually get to a point with?
No, we were just talking about Carrie Fisher and how big her appearance is going to be. Do you think it's going to be significant, or do you think it's going to be kind of minimalized?
I think it's. I feel
Great transition out of NSYNC, by the way.
Yeah, I feel as a move of respect for Carrie Fisher, her character, and the Star Wars, what she's done for the Star Wars franchise. I feel like they're going to send her off.
Yeah.
In the first act.
You mean send her off like she's not going to make it through the film?
She's not going to make it through the film. We are going to get Organa's death.
Interesting. I almost feel that
I feel like we're passing the torch to the newbies. We're killing off.
I don't disagree, but I do feel like since we've already lost Han and Luke, that.
But we were supposed to.
But it might be an unexpected turn for her not to die.
Maybe, but how much are people going to accept of Carrie Fisher CG? Because at some point, they're not going to have enough footage if they're going to carry.
They accepted it in Rogue One, didn't they?
That's not Carrie Fisher.
It's not the actress Carrie Fisher, but it is based on Carrie Fisher, and it is Carrie Fisher's digitally.
Yes, but what I'm saying is we accepted it because it was one scene to set up. It was such an epic. The ending, the scene itself was so fucking epic that it was okay.
Is General Leia as digital Carrie Fisher giving medals to Rey, Poe,
and finally gives one to Chewbacca?
Not Chewbacca, but definitely John Boyega.
Dude, if she hands out medals and snubs Chewbacca again, a Wookiee's gonna be tearing some limbs, is what I'm saying.
Well, who's assuming Chewbacca makes it out alive?
This is true. This is true.
I think Chewbacca's the one character that you would expect to live on, but could die.
I don't know. People were giving praise to Solo, the movie, in our chats just now in the Facebook chat. Several people, when we were talking about it earlier, were saying Solo was awesome. Solo was awesome.
Oh boy! Actually, show that to JD. He can help you with that.
All right, I think we're back.
I'm doing this tonight. We're probably gonna start a fight. I was doing.
Bye. Was that the right song?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I was playing in a punk rock band back then.
Are we only on YouTube though? Okay.
People of Earth, welcome back. You know, I know this is getting annoying. That's why we need your support. We're going to grow this thing to a whole other.
I thought that was really insane.
Wait. Hold the presses. This is the most it's not as fantastic as the real NSYNC photo. Well, I know it's not real, but I'm just saying the photo with the NSYNC guys. But the idea was obviously real if Saturday Night Live was doing a thing.
Yeah.
Right? That means it existed.
Somewhere in the interwebs, somewhere in Lucasfilm, this exists.
Now,
your mission. Do you think Ethan Hunt would be able to steal that footage for the IMF?
Dude. Like the fanboys mission?
I think the fanboys aim too low. Listen,
they should have gone for the NSYNC footage.
This is the golden goose here. This right here is the.
I'm coming for you, Amanda.
Well, that sounded really strange. That clip is gonna be used on the episode of Dateline eventually. So here's the thing. I think that personally, that this footage, this is kind of like the Ark, right? This is the mythological.
Right.
This is the MacGuffin. Mm-hmm. We got to get our hands on this. If I ever get to interview George Lucas, I'm definitely asking about it.
100%.
It's my first question. Not even how are you doing.
What holiday
What's in sync in Star Wars, and describe.
What was it like having Joey hold a lightsaber?
But I heard
directing Lance Bass with a lightsaber.
There was an I can't believe we're spending so much time on it.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
There was an episode of TRL back in the day that they didn't say all 5 members. Only 3 members that apparently were in the movie, but I don't know which 3.
Yeah.
You know which 3? Was it Justin?
I don't think Justin was in it.
Oh yeah, it's the B-lister in sync.
Oh, that's even more fascinating. Did he get snubbed? Or was he not like one of Amanda's favorites?
That would have been a big mistake. You have to assume Chris Kirkpatrick was in it because he looks like an alien from Star Wars. Secondly, I don't know about I couldn't even tell you.
Well, we're going to, if there is one mission, we've been on the air for a few years with no pay. We obviously are determined. And the goal, if it takes us another 20 years, is to get our hands on that footage.
Bro, cast any actor currently right now in a Star Wars movie. What would their role be? Any actor.
Let's go with what's his homeboy's name from The Punisher?
David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer was actually Jar Jar Binks.
John Bernthal. What would he be? A stormtrooper? Sith. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Well, listen, for me,
I actually think Mendelsohn from Rogue One would actually make a great Thrawn.
Well, yeah, he would have made a great Thrawn. That's
okay. Well, who's your guy?
Man, if I was to cast somebody in a Star Wars movie that's currently enacting, you got to think of box. Look, Star Wars needs the
okay.
shot in the dark,
Who's Chris Pratt play in Star Wars?
I wouldn't put Chris Pratt.
Okay.
You know what though? I would put maybe somebody like Chris Evans in it.
Okay. And what would his role be?
The Captain America. I think.
Hey,
just cross them over.
Hey, why not? They're all Disney properties. Do you think we will see a crossover at some point 10, 12 years down the line?
God, I hope not.
Why not? But why wouldn't it happen 10, 12, 13, 14, 25 years down the line?
I don't know, man.
If this is supposed to go on forever.
But you can make Star Wars go on forever without having to rely on this.
But almost everything crosses over at some point.
But hopefully not.
It already did in the comics.
If I see Mickey Mouse in a fucking Jedi outfit in a movie, that's it. I'm out.
Do you think a lightsaber could cut through adamantium?
No.
No, it can't?
No, probably. No, I don't know. That's a really good question. Can a lightsaber? No, it can't.
Exclusive. Hey, we need some people to write that shit up.
Can a lightsaber cut through? Can it cut through vibranium?
What would? Do you think? Who do you think wins in a fight?
What has our show turned into? So I don't know if you knew this week, but Han Solo's jacket is selling for over $1 million.
It hasn't even started. The opening bid hasn't even started, from what I understood. They're opening the bid at $1 million or 1.3 or what?
Would you buy Han Solo's jacket for $1 million? If you had $1 million.
If I had fuck you money, yeah, why not?
You would?
Yeah, I don't get like if you had fuck you money. If you're sitting on $1 billion,
let's just say you only have $1.5 billion. What are you spending your money on?
If I'm building the fucking Mos Eisley Cantina,
let's say you only had $1.3 million. Are you spending all your money on that jacket?
Only if we have a commitment to Star Wars Fanatics being on the air for the next 20 years. Then I just wear it every day on the Star Wars Fanatics.
That's I don't think I'd still spend the money.
No, I don't think I'm pretty sure before I would commit to buying it, but when I showed up and actually had to pay the money, half the money would already be gone on hookers and blow. So I think that's probably a more likely scenario.
You're going to get an email from HR come Monday. It's going to be
you know what?
Tone it down.
You know what? We are trying to make this thing.
It's autographed by Harrison Ford.
Are those bullets live? Why would he have bullets?
I didn't know those were bullets. I always thought they were pens. I thought he needed to write something very important down.
Are those bullets?
I think they're pens.
What are they?
I think there could be grenades, like little. I don't know what they are. I always thought they could have been like little doctor things too. I don't know.
Sonic screwdrivers.
Sonic screwdrivers?
Definitely sonic screwdrivers.
It's a possibility. Does it have that members only flavor to it?
It definitely does have a leather members only flavor to it. It really does, actually. It totally does. People are like, what are you guys talking about right now?
You know what? I just gave up on trying to make sense of anything tonight because I want to thank our sponsors, Neff.
Real question.
For this barrel of vodka.
Real question. We talk about this all the time.
Yeah.
Before Star Wars property crosses over with anything, I feel like there needs to be a lot more stories told within their characters. We have a great article up on thathashtagshow.com about the top 5 things that would make great TV shows.
Yeah.
And we've been talking about sci-fi TV shows doing extremely well.
Right.
Talk to me about what you think would be the best Star Wars TV show. Possibility.
Okay, well, and we've gone through
the cantina where it goes dun, 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 dun.
I think if you're doing an anthology show, whether it's about the Star Wars underworld or bounty hunters, centering something, taking a centralized location like the Mos Eisley Cantina as a springboard for these anthology stories is not a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea.
Canto bite a little cooler and doing like a casino theme, like mafia thing.
I don't think that's a bad idea either. And I think that we've talked about like seeing more things around the darker side of Star Wars. If we're going to go into the arms race, the arms dealings portion of that, now that's a real thing. That's a real side of war. That there are people.
There's a movie.
There's a profiteering.
All about it, yeah.
Right. Call out to
Miles Teller.
No, was Miles Teller?
Miles Teller and Jonah Hill, I believe.
Oh shit! I thought that was Nick Cage. Do I get the wrong movie altogether?
What are you talking about? I think.
Oh, that was Dogs of War. All right.
Lord of
War. All right, my bad. That was also like a warlord, like a profiteering war. Yeah. Okay.
What is that smell?
It is fucking. Daniel is fucking blasting asshole right now.
Daniel. Like
I tried to.
He is the Jar Jar Binks of the hashtag show universe.
Whew, it is fucking rough in here right now, people. I don't know what the hell is going on. We've been skirting the issue, but
sorry.
This is
such a weird show.
This might be the most drunk I've ever been on the air.
No, that's impossible.
Really?
No.
I take it up a notch.
Well, let's not.
We have the good people at Neff providing us some fucking amazing vodka.
At least we do this week. I don't know so much about next week when they pull sponsorship.
You know what? We're trying to turn this into a real thing. It's become bigger than we've ever thought it could be, and we want to thank all you guys out there on the fucking Star Wars Fanatics.
I do want to say something though. And
blogosphere.
What Rose saying, except I'm going to say a lot more sober.
He's going to be more articulate.
We do want to thank you guys out there because this is about news and talking about the news of Star Wars, but we really want to interact and just make it a Star Wars conversation. We don't want to talk down to you guys. We want to talk with you guys about what Star Wars is, what we want to see. Like a TV show idea, we obviously know we're getting one
we're getting
Jon Favreau.
Live action, we're getting one from Jon Favreau for sure.
Yep, and that's going to be on the Disney streaming service. And we also know that that's going to take place in between... it's going to be the Resistance era of Star Wars. So
I expect to see crossovers between the animated series and that series.
I certainly hope so, because it would be a missed opportunity if we don't. Now, we know that you want to see kind of like a setting of a Mos Eisley Cantina or Canto Bight, but one thing that we haven't seen is an animated character really appear in a live action kind of thing. Now, if you did get a choice of an animated character solely appearing in either a film or a television series, who would that animated character be and why?
Dash fucking Rendar.
He's not an animated character.
Okay, wait.
He's not even a character at this point.
Okay, an animated character in a live action television show?
Yeah.
That's the question, correct? Ahsoka Tano.
Good answer.
Or the flip side to that, because we don't have enough villain stories, I feel like we could see more of the bad guys. Cad fucking Bane, that guy in the middle, that guy somewhere in the middle.
What about young hustler Jabba, like as a little slug to grown into a big slug? How he built his empire.
Dude, what would happen if you pour salt on Jabba?
That would be a great question.
Can adamantium cut through Jabba?
Jabba would not be able to live in what's the last planet they were on, the Last Jedi? What was that planet called?
Oh, the salt planet? The mineral planet?
Yeah. He would not be able to live
trying to get a just.
Why can't I
wow
know the planet's name?
I don't know, but that
You
was.
don't know it either?
I don't know it off the top of my head. It's gone.
Crate.
Crate,
Crate,
thank you.
crate.
The mineral planet Crate.
Yes.
By the way, nod to fucking the old samurai movies. I was watching that last scene, and it's just such a fucking amazing visual with the red mineral underneath the salt layer when he does the Kurosawa move that you see. His foot comes across that samurai move. You've seen that, like. You see people throw tribute to that. I've seen it in anime after anime, but to see it in a Star Wars film was fucking epic.
Another great answer is Sabine Wren.
That's a great question.
I'm actually surprised
Character.
that Sabine. Oh man, it's kind of crazy to actually think about it now, because I felt like Sabine was probably one of the strongest characters coming from that shit.
At the time, I felt like she might have been the most dynamic and dynamic female character when Rebels first came out, because she was like this tomboy, right? Kind of like Ahsoka Tano, but because she was Mandalorian, she had this almost, I don't want to say criminal element, but it was definitely a more rebellious. She was a more rebellious rebel, like in the same way that
she was a more rebellious rebel.
Like she was a rebel in the truest sense of the word.
Okay, I see.
Like a radical. She came off a little more radical, right?
A little unhinged.
A little unhinged. She just had that
dangerous.
What else? What other adjectives you got for me?
Pronouns, pal. Pronouns.
What are your pronouns?
Ahsoka. No,
Okay.
one of the ones that I think would be kind of cool too is. I think she has a lot of story to tell. I'm actually a little surprised that there's no major plans for that character.
Yeah,
because I felt like a lot of young girls really kind of, just young
no,
people
but
in general kind of attached.
Are we going to see Sabine in Resistance?
I certainly hope so, because she's a character that didn't have an end.
She didn't have an end, and
I know what I was going to ask you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do non-Jedis deserve lightsabers?
Now that's an interesting question, because we've seen some examples of Force users, correct?
Right.
Like in the animated series, not so much in the films, but in the animated series we have Force users. Now, some of these Force users do just fine without a lightsaber. Do they deserve a lightsaber? I don't know if they deserve a lightsaber. Lightsabers are built by Force users. I think
Sabine got a lightsaber.
But was her kyber was the black saber kyber crystal powered?
I believe
Do we
so.
know that? Well, that's we're bringing up another question for the fandom. Is the Mandalorian black saber kyber crystal powered?
I don't know the answer to that.
Neither do I. Who's got the answer out there for us?
Star Wars trivia of the night.
You know what? You know what, guys? If someone can answer that question for me definitively with a point of reference, Junior is going to make sure he mails something to you. Producer Junior.
We have that thing over there. Star Wars.
We actually we have a couple of figurines, and I think these bobblehead pop vinyls in our grab bag back there.
Funko Pop's bobbleheads.
Bobblehead. I meant.
Is that what you just said?
Name escaped me. Pop vinyl. We have some pop vinyls and a couple of figurines in our grab bag still. If someone can definitively, with a point of reference, give me that answer.
Dylan,
Producer Junior will definitely mail you something.
Speaking of Mandalore, I'm still going to continue to say that I want a Death Watch movie.
Death Watch is one of the more interesting Clone Wars arcs, in my opinion. And
do you think we're going to get that touched on?
What was the Duchess's name? Did Obi-Wan's kind of love interest? Satine, right? That the whole Death Watch, I think, might be. I know you love Clone Wars episodes that were about the clones. The Death Watch, the Satine, the Mandalorian arcs might be my favorite set of episodes.
Yeah, to me, the Clone Wars.
I mean, those were violent episodes.
The Clone Wars is such a good series, man. I'm actually. Is there any reason? I don't know if I have a definitive answer to this, because I've asked a bunch of different people and they give me different answers. Is there any reason why that story was told out of order? air date wise?
I don't know.
As the show was airing, it
Right.
actually wasn't in chronological order.
Right.
Is there any reason why that was the case? Does anybody know?
No, I mean, why the fuck did they air the second episode of
Is Star
Firefly
Wars supposed
first?
to be a puzzle?
Fox?
I think? Is Star Wars supposed to be a puzzle? Like, am I supposed to
Yes.
just
No.
figure it out?
I think when it comes to like Clone Wars and the various animated series, whether it's Rebels or Resistance coming up, I think that is a place where you can afford to build a little mystery, right? Because you can create.
But StarWars.com does have a definitive watch list order for Clone Wars.
Yeah.
So what was the reason why they just didn't do it all in order to begin with?
Another great question. So we got 3 questions that we need answered. Can a lightsaber cut through adamantium? Okay, we need to know that. Is the Mandalorian black saber kyber crystal powered? And question number 3.
Why was Star Wars Clone Wars air date out of order?
Out of chronological
It was
order.
not in chronological order when it aired, which I found kind of strange.
Okay, let's go to the comments real quick. DeMarcus, he just says Clone Wars was nice.
But Dylan says the Death Watch period was absolutely amazing, but think of it as live action film.
I think it would make a
The
great...
action, the cameos, the merch, the fans.
The fans. I'm with you, Mr. Carter. Hey, Greg. Yeah, a Zeb and Callus movie? Not bad. Zeb?
I don't know about Zeb. I kind of want to see a Syndulla movie. No joke.
Syndulla is a very
Harrison
interesting...
Syndulla.
Now, do you think Syndulla was...
Technically, she was in
Rogue One. We don't... The Ghost was in Rogue One. Do you think
But
she
her
was...
voice too is also in Rogue One.
Okay, that's right.
Where
That's
she's
right.
calling out.
In the scene when they're leaving the hangar, right?
Yeah.
That's her voice. I love those little nods. I love those little nods.
But they're putting the transmission signal.
Right.
She's one of the voices.
Yeah.
That's like, whatever she says. But yes, Syndulla's definitely in Rogue One. Voice, at least.
Speaking of Mallory, I'm still going to continue to say that I want a Death Watch movie. Okay, yes, made that point. Love it. Thank you, Dylan. Greg Evans, Sabine could come back with Ahsoka to help train the new Resistance. Greg, always contributing. I agree with that idea. What do you think?
Yep.
Thanks. Thanks for elaborating. You know what, guys? You guys deserve your own show out there. So I want to say this again. People in the Star Wars community, get involved with this show. Contact us. Give us your ideas. Get involved. Share this out with your friends. We're putting a call out to the fucking fandom. Let's get this shit on the air. You guys are busy on social media arguing with each other. You know what? We got a place right here. Let's do it on the air live. Let's
argue live on the air.
Let's argue. We don't have to argue. Let's discuss or fight. I don't care. We can have a cage fight.
2 Skype calls, like 2 opposing opinions. And that's not a terrible idea.
It's not a terrible idea, but I see it going bad.
But that's gonna go south real.
It could go still on there.
Yeah,
hey guys,
we're back. We're still there.
We are back. We just want to say thank you. You want to ride this out? Say bye. Are we good? This has been
facilities here, but guys,
we're working on it.
Thank you so much for watching us, and like he said, like Rose said, we want to engage you guys in to join us live on this show. We might be taking live calls next week.
Yeah,
if the internet.
We're working on making a few adjustments. It might not be next week, but definitely within the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to have a platform to include more of you in the show.
Thank you guys so much for watching. You can follow Ro at that hashtag Ro. You can follow me at that hashtag Joe. We made it simple for you guys. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and we shall see you guys next week, and may the force be with you.
That hashtagshow.com.